Excel. This is Dr. Smith. I'm going to show you real quick how to run a regression through Excel. Just because I've had a lot of questions, people saying, well, why don't you do it in class? And I always get lost. And so I want to kind of take you step by step of how to run a regression in Excel at your house, if you have Excel on your computer. First thing that you'll need to do before you can run any regressions through Excel is you'll need to turn on the data analysis tool pack. Now what I've done is I've turned it off on mine, but once you turn it on, it should stay on. So I actually turned mine off so I can show you how to turn it on. You'll notice up here in the data tab, which is where usually our data analysis tool pack would be found. Usually it's over here all the way on the right. In this case, it's not. And so we need to turn that on. So the way you do that is you go to File, and you go down to Options. This brings up kind of an Excel options dialog box. You'll go to Add-ins, and then go down to the Go button at the bottom. Click on Go, and it brings up this list of add-ins, and we just want to click Analysis Tool Pack. We'll hit OK, and you'll see it now added a Data Analysis button here in the Data tab. So now that lets us actually run a regression. So let's say that we want to run a regression with wage being our dependent variable, and let's say education, experience, and tenure being our dependent variable. Wage is our dependent variable, education, experience, and tenure are going to be our independent variables. So we want to run that regression. So how do we do that? Well, we'll have to come here and go to Data Analysis. We'll come down and we'll scroll down until we see regression, select it, and hit OK. Then, basically with this dialog box here, it wants you to tell Excel what is the Y range. Remember, Y is your dependent variable. It's the variable that depends on some other variable. And so we're going to select wage as our Y. Now, there's a couple different ways to select your the range. One would just be if you wanted to, you could sit here, click and drag all the way down. You just sit here and do this for a long time, and eventually you get to the bottom and you see it puts in up here at the top the range that we've actually just selected. Now there's a quicker way. This is the way I do it in class. If you don't want to do it this way, that's okay. You can always just click and drag. But if you want your life to be a little faster, save yourself that 10 seconds it takes to drag all the way down. What you can do is you can click on the very top of the row, top of the column, and what you'll do is you'll hit Shift Control Down. So Shift Control Down. And what that does is that just selects all the way down to the bottom of the data in that column. It doesn't select the entire column, just the data that's in the column. And that's the quickest way to select the data. What we'll do now is I need to go select our X's. X's are our independent variables. Remember, we said our X's were going to be education, experience, and tenure. So to do that, just like I did for wage, I'm going to select the top row of those three variables, and then I'm going to hit Shift Control Down. Again, you could drag and drop if you want to, but Shift Control Down, and that selects all the way down to the bottom of the data. And I click this little button here. And then notice now it's giving me my ranges here. Now if I just hit the OK button here, it's going to give me an error. It says the input range contains non-numeric data. And it does because the top row of this input range has the name of the variable in it. We call that name a label. So we're going to let Excel know, hey, there's a label here. So let's do that. Everything else you can just leave as the defaults, right? They do different things. You can have it give you the residuals and line plots and etc. We're not going to deal with that right now. For now, just worry about getting the, telling it that it has labels at the top. When you hit OK, it outputs your regression onto a new worksheet down here at the bottom. And there you go. That's how you run a regression in Excel.